Hey everybody! To save time, I'm not going to tell you guys all about what happened from the week of the 16th to the 22nd, mainly because nothing really happened. I worked a ton. I think I worked about 55 hours last week, which is why I don't have video blogs from last week, because I literally was working. If I wasn't working, I would go home and I would go to sleep, or I would go home, make food and go to sleep, or I would go home, cry, and go to sleep. Okay, I didn't cry. But there were some days where I really did not like anything, and all I wanted to do was sleep and eat and, interchange those words as much as you want. That's basically all I wanted to do last week. But I worked more than anything. So that was the week from the 16th to the 22nd, and I'm going to tell you about my past week right now. Okay, so on the week, this week started with the 23rd, which is a Sunday, and on Sunday I worked from 10 until 6:30, and it wasn't really that remarkable of a day. I just worked really hard, nothing I couldn't handle. Magic Kingdom wasn't too terribly busy. It was fine. But after work, I went to church, to a church called Mosaic, with my friend Sally Ann, who is from Belmont as well. She is in entertainment and hangs out with some of the characters, if you catch my drift. And anyways, so we went there because both of us, or neither one of us has really gotten to go to church. And when we finally found there was a church that wasn't too far away from where we live, we were like, yeah, let's go check it out. And when we got there, it was just awesome. Everyone there was so nice and welcoming, and they gave me a tumbler, which is like the cup with the lid and the plastic, like literal hard, heavy-duty straw, and I really like that. And worship there, like singing and everything, was really nice, very reminiscent of Crosspoint, my church back at Nashville, and the pastor was probably the most high energy pastor I've ever seen. I definitely thought that he was a little bit nuts in the beginning, because he was just like he was literally going at the speed of a bullet train, just going straight through like everything that happened in the New Testament. And then it came after Jesus died, so everything with Saul to Paul and different apostles, and how they died, and just so much information in like 5 minutes. And then he set up the scene for basically the message, which is basically just love on people, like, doesn't have to be remarkable or anything. It doesn't have to be necessarily out of your comfort zone, but go out with the idea of showing the love of Christ to others. So it was a good message, and he did a really good job. It wasn't necessarily the point of the message I saw, but he did a really good job getting there, or kind of leading us to that point. So that was really good, and that was my Sunday, so that's good. And let's tell you about Monday. On Monday, I had my guest relations class, so I didn't have work. So my guest relations class actually met at Disney's Deluxe Resort Animal Kingdom Lodge, which is really cool. It's all like African themed, think safari. And it's all themed kind of like that. And they actually have live animals on the property that you can go and see. They're in cages, or they're not in cages, but they're in their savannas that are boxed off, so you can't go right up to them or anything. But we were there and we talked about resorts, and how the My Magic bands have kind of influenced how consumerism and resort guests function differently at Disney World. And we also, we also got to see one of the deluxe suites up in the Animal Kingdom Lodge, and that was pretty cool. So it was basically a 3-bedroom apartment that was really swanky and had a ton of Disney garb. So that was cool. And yeah, so that was basically what I did there. After I was done with that class, I honestly came home and I did a whole lot of nothing because I needed to do a whole lot of nothing. Because work has really just had me going nonstop for the past week, and I was just like, ooh, little break, woo. And then in the evening, I went to the Bible study with the church. So they have Cru, or Campus Crusades for Christ. That is, their outreach is to like Disney cast members. And they met with us at Mosaic, the church we went to. And they invited us, and we had a ton of fun. I really like the people who kind of led it, which their names are Kevin, Nate, and Lindsay. And I went with Sally Ann again, and we met some cool people like Kyle and Amanda. And yeah, it was a really good time, and I look forward to going to it again. Okay, so on Tuesday, Tuesday was debatably the worst work day I've had at Magic Kingdom because I was working an 11-hour day, so that's a really long day. And then because it's spring break and the park was so crazy, I mean, it was packed. And they were filming the TV show, The Middle, at Magic Kingdom as well. So all of those 3 things caused the park to extend an hour. So instead of closing at midnight, we closed at 1 a.m. And what that meant for me and everyone who worked for past 9:30, which I was getting off at 10, it meant we got to work an extra hour. So my 11-hour shift turned into a 12-hour shift. That sucked. And I just had bad guest after bad guest after bad guest, and man, it just sucked. And just towards the end of the day, I know I was just losing it. And I was so hungry and exhausted that finally when I got home, I literally just walked right to my bed, took off my clothes, and fell asleep. Like, there was no, like, real thought process. All I really made a conscious effort to do was plug in my phone. So, yeah, that was fun. No. On Wednesday, I had my Exploring Leadership class, and we met at Disney's Animal Kingdom Park. And what our teacher told us to do was to break up into groups and basically go around and do a summary of all the things we've learned at the Animal Kingdom, through the class in Animal Kingdom. So we wanted to go and see like where diversity was and where strength building was, and how people relate with each other, and how storytelling takes place in Animal Kingdom. And so it was kind of like busy work, but is it really busy work when you're in Animal Kingdom? Not really. Animal Kingdom was packed though, more packed than I've ever seen it. And some of you already know that I'm not a huge fan of Animal Kingdom, because every time I've gone, I feel like I've had more of a negative experience. Like when I go on the Kilimanjaro Safaris, which is basically like a car ride through the savannah. So you should be able to see like gazelles and rhinos and giraffes and lions and tigers and bears. Oh my! And yeah, and like every time I go, I get really unlucky, and like half the animals are asleep or aren't there or are getting fed, so like they're nowhere to be seen. So yeah, but after we did that, I had a really great group, really fun people that I hadn't met before. Well, some of them I had met before, but it was a really nice time. After that, I honestly went home and I've been playing a game called Company of Heroes. I played Company of Heroes, and it was great. And then I went to bed. Woo! Okay, so Thursday I had another 10-hour shift, so not crazy remarkable, but one of the things I'll just fill you in on is the FastPass Plus system. I really like it. A lot of the guests do not, and they let us know very strongly. I may have mentioned that in the past, but like when it's been this crazy busy and everything, people get like people really don't have shame about letting you know how much they dislike this system. Like I've had teenagers, like 15 years old, like just be like, "This is the worst effing thing ever to happen at Disney," with her mom and dad like right there, and they're like, "Oh yeah, this is awful." It's just like, thank you. Have a magical day. We'll see you later. So, so that's kind of what I have to deal with. So when I tell you guys about these really long days and how emotionally draining it can be, or just mentally draining, that's why. Because when you deal with unhappy people like all day, it's awful. And sometimes your coworkers are also negative because they have things going on in their lives as well, and it can be a very negative environment to feel in. But most of the time, I'm fine. So on the Tuesday, that was one of the only times where I've really felt like I was like really just not in a good place. But it's okay. So I got through that day, and what kept me going on through the day is because once again, Crew was having a free pizza night from 9 to 11. So I got off work. I pretty much got home. I checked some emails and got dressed, and I went to this pizza night, and there was free pizza, and I talked to some of the leaders and met some really cool people in the program, and I just had a really nice time, and it was a great way to end the day. On Friday, I only worked 8 hours, so that was different for me because I generally work pretty late, and I didn't have work on Saturday, which is today, and so on Friday, I worked and everything, and I came home, and I just took the entire evening for recovery. I treated myself to buying a game, which was Batman Arkham Origins, which is like the beginning Batman story, and that's pretty awesome. It took 26 hours, no, it took 18 hours to download. So that was kind of crazy. I had to wait forever for that to come up, which leads me into my Saturday. My Saturday has also just kind of been my me day. It was the weather was kind of crazy here today. It was pouring rain like all day, and yeah, I was just waiting for Batman to download all day. Finally downloaded around 3. Played Batman for like, I don't know how many hours. Like, I've been playing all day, and I finally told myself, hey, you should probably make video blogs because you're really behind on that. And that's what I'm doing right now. So here's the video blog. And let me just say, all of you who have messaged me and said, hey, we miss your video blogs. Y'all are the best. And those of you who don't message me and say that, that's fine. You probably don't watch my video blogs, so I don't know why I'm talking to you right now. I hope all of you are having great days, great weeks. I hope the past 2 weeks have been going well for you. Side plug, if you live in Nashville and you have a place for me to live, please let me know, because right now I'm homeless when I get back to Nashville, which apparently will be on the 16th or 17th of May. Haven't decided if I'm going to drive back to Nashville in one day again, because that was kind of crazy. Okay, bye-bye.